In October 1985, father of 5, Arthur Easton, was stabbed to death in his Auckland home by an intruder wielding a bayonet. Witnesses described the man as a 6-foot, powerfully built, right-handed Māori man. 2 months later, police began focusing on a 5'7", slightly built, intellectually impaired, left-handed Pākehā, Alan Hall, and subjected him to gruelling interviews without a lawyer. After Hall was convicted of Arthur Easton's murder and sentenced to life in prison, it became clear police had deliberately altered a crucial eyewitness statement and hidden other vital evidence that showed Alan Hall couldn't have been the killer. Now, after nearly 20 years in prison and more than 35 years fighting to prove his innocence, the Supreme Court has accepted the lamentable truth that a serious miscarriage of justice occurred and Alan Hall's convictions should be quashed.
Shouldn't have happened. The quash the conviction.
Who do you blame for what happened to you, Alan?
Individual police officers based at Papakura Police Station. But I'm just wondering if they can issue warrants for the rest of those officers. That's what I'd like to see the courts do. And legally go after the officers, according to the law of the country.
What do you hope happens at the Supreme Court, Alan?
That the judges will realise that the police have an IQ of a carrot when they did this case. Hopefully I'd like to hear them say that the officers were brain dead when they try and prosecute you, but they're too conservative to say that. But I hope they're thinking it. There's a bit of colourful language I like to say, but I better not on TV.
It was obvious to us that Alan wasn't guilty. The evidence was compelling. I mean, you have a 6-foot-tall Maori or Polynesian, as he was described at the time, who was fluent in martial arts. And then we have Alan, who was asthmatic, 5'7", had no connection with the Easton family at all. Just dumbfounded us why the authorities wouldn't take this information on board and fix it. But it all comes down to just the New Zealand justice system. It's not made to remedy things, it's made to put people away. And once they're away, they're forgotten about.
What happened to Alan didn't happen by accident. It happened by design, and we want to know why. And Alan wants to know why, and he wants results. He wants the people that did this to him to be put on the stand and answer questions. Why did you do this to me? And when, you know, the road that's going to get us there, I don't know. I don't know if it's been travelled before to hold police accountable, to hold prosecution accountable, and the judicial system. They kept Alan in jail. We want to know why.
Alan's case is definitely one of the most extreme examples of a miscarriage of justice that New Zealand has seen. It's up there with Teina Pora, it's up there with Arthur Allan Thomas. What makes it perhaps worse than those two cases is that there's proven malfeasance by police and tampering with evidence. And that's what makes it rare, the fact that it's been proved that police changed evidence that the jury heard. in Alan's case, I formed a very early and strong belief in his innocence. The fact that it's taken 30 years to get to this point is an indictment on our criminal justice system. It demonstrates how hard a palpably innocent person has to work to overturn a conviction, and it seems so obvious looking at it through the current perspective, or through the current lens. But the fact is that there were many missed opportunities where the state knew about what had occurred and did nothing.
In terms of ranking wrongful convictions in this case, Alan's is right at the very top end. He has been wrongfully convicted for 36 years, and there's no other case quite like that in this country. One of the things about wrongful convictions is they often happen to people who are vulnerable in some way, and it's undoubtedly true. You only need to spend a little bit of time with Alan to know that he's vulnerable. But instead of seeing the way Alan is and the way he interacts with people as a vulnerability, it was used to demonise him in front of the jury. And I think that is an incredible tragedy in this case, that's how he was cast before the jury, and that is undoubtedly a significant part of why he was convicted.
To now boarding all customers to gate 31.
That is the good bathroom. Here we go.
How you feeling?
Alright. I'm fucking anxious. Elle's just fucking cool as a.
How do you fold a handkerchief to put in it?
You know.
But we can confirm the lamentable fact, as the Crown accepts, that significant parts of the criminal justice process have failed Mr. Hall with seriously adverse consequences for him. In these circumstances, where evidence before the jury omitted a critical fact, disclosure obligations were not met, and key statements made by Mr. Hall should not have been before the jury, it is in the interests of justice to direct verdicts of acquittal. We cannot end this judgment without acknowledging that just as the criminal justice system has failed Mr. Hall, so too has it failed the Easton family. For these reasons, the appeal is allowed, Mr. Hall's convictions are quashed, and the order under we make an order under section 3852 of the Crimes Act 1961, directing that verdicts of acquittal be entered.
Emotional time. Alan's quite emotional and a bit shy and a bit standoff at the moment, but he really appreciates everybody here to put his story out. Do you mind if I take? Yeah. 36 years of it. Here we are, final moments, and we got what we needed for Alan and for the family and for everybody really. I mean, this is not just a win for us, it's a win for the nation. We fought against injustice and we won today. Our story is told, so we're very proud of Alan. And for staying strong through prison and been inspiring with the way that he deals with things, and we're very, very happy.
Alan's had a tough life. He's had a tough life. He's always been the target of bullies and been picked on. And he's had the protection of his mother that's always been there to protect him. The bullying went on through primary school, intermediate, high school, through the work that he did. And then he was bullied by the police. And he's had the toughest life. And then he's been in jail since 1986. We're here now, and the first time he's fighting back.